Welcome to the Brand Theory Podcast, the podcast for helping you uncover your passion, realize your purpose, and take the aligned action. Together, we're going to prove the theory that when we live our lives on brand, the possibilities become limitless. I'm your host, Danielle Marquesi, branding expert and business coach. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Brand Theory Podcast. I hope, as always, wherever you are listening to this from, I hope you're having a great day. I thank you for joining me. And today we're going to be talking about building an on-brand community. And there's going to be kind of two subject lines I'm going to explore here. The first is kind of building the community in your life. And the second will be building the on-brand community within a business and kind of how to go about that. If you are listening to these episodes in chronological order and you happen to catch last week's episode, you know that I was hosting a free masterclass all about how to bring in 5K months consistently to your business and possibly beyond that, and kind of a 3-step formula, if you will, to getting you those results sooner rather than later. Thank you to everyone who joined the masterclass. If that was you, I loved seeing you in there. If you happen to miss that, the replay will still be available inside my Facebook group, and all you have to do, I'll link the Facebook group below, and you can kind of just join there. I just give you that stamp of approval, and you can watch, just go head to the videos, and you can watch that replay. But what I wanted to open the floor to here is I offered free roadmap calls. So what that basically looks like is 30-minute consultation calls to figure out how to apply these methods to your business directly. So how to apply these 3 steps to your specific goals, your growth goals, your financial goals, your business goals, and your lifestyle goals. Sometimes it's tough to take in all the information, absorb it, and then also apply it surrounding our specific dreams, ambitions, and visions. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So if that's something that you would like and would find super useful, I'll link that link below inside the show notes as well. Now, getting into this week's episode, building the on-brand community. So I think first, let's take a look at that word community. We have our friends, our relationships, our parents, our family members, cousins, aunts, uncles that make up our community. It could be even acquaintances from work, coworkers. It could be acquaintances from school. It could be people that we meet traveling. Your community is made up of the people that surround your everyday life. And sometimes you have people who are in your legit everyday life and you're talking to them all the time. Or you have people who are just in your life and you talk to them or check in with them every couple of weeks, every couple of months, maybe even once a year kind of thing. But they are part of your bigger community. Now, I heard this thing once that we are influenced by the 5 people that we spend the most time with, whether that's our family, our friends, our significant others. They are the ones that influence how we think about things, our mood sometimes, our thought process, the activities that we do. All of it is influenced by everything else in life, what we're watching, what we're observing, what we're reading, what we're learning, what we're doing. But of course, those relationships that we have in our life, those people that we're talking to on a consistent basis, do make up a lot of our thought process and influence a lot of how we go about our decisions or how we go about considering people's feelings when we're making decisions, or considering other people when we're building a community, when we're building a work community, a business community. So when we're making this switch to live a life more on brand, whether that's starting a business or doing a career switch or picking up a new hobby, just doing things for us and that are more in alignment with us and that really fulfill us from that deeper inner feeling, like that purpose and passion feeling, we also may find that our relationships will change, and that's kind of natural, and it's nothing to be scared of. It has definitely happened to me. There's some friendships that have kind of not gone away, but have just changed a little bit, and there's friendships that have come in and are totally new and super fulfilling. It's not necessarily to say that those friendships, I'm just going to call them the old friendships. The old friendships aren't equally as fulfilling. It's just I have those friendships to fulfill a certain need, and these newer friendships to fulfill another need, if that makes sense. I think it's very important to have like-minded individuals surrounding us all the time. Again, the 5 people you surround yourself with most are people who really influence and have an effect on your mood and your decision-making. And I think when we are getting into this journey of transitioning to be more on brand, we always want to have people around us who are very supportive. And I'm not saying my friends aren't supportive or your friends aren't supportive or people who are surrounding you aren't supportive. I'm just saying, again, kind of take an inventory of, do you maybe need more people who kind of get it? Do you need a little bit more people who understand what you're going through, who are kind of going through the trenches of also figuring out how they're transitioning their lives or their businesses to be a bit more on brand, to live a more fulfilling life? And maybe you have people like that in your life and you don't even realize it. But listening to this and realizing this, maybe you realize, wow, like I have an amazing group of people around me. Maybe I do tell them what's going on. Maybe I do tell them that I'm making this switch, this transition, this change in my life to live more on brand, to live in more alignment. And I think they would be my best support system. Sometimes we fear telling people things because it's so new to us, or we just don't really know how to process it, and we're scared to kind of tell other people, our friend group, or again, those people, our community. So again, just kind of take an inventory and see what friendships are lighting you up and what maybe isn't. You can totally address that, and you can also make room and just kind of welcome in or be more aware of what kind of friendships or community or relationships, family member relationships that you want to bring into your community that are in alignment with your transition. With that said, as an entrepreneur and as somebody who is building a business, you may be thinking that you're alone. You may be thinking that, how am I ever supposed to figure out how to do all of this on my own? I'm so used to having coworkers. I'm so used to having somebody that I can bounce ideas off of. That was something I felt like I actually struggled with when I was going from the transition of working in my old job to working then full-time on my own. There was always somebody around that I could run an idea by. There was always somebody around that I could freak out to, right? If I didn't know how to do something. There was always somebody around for support. And think about it, like you spend 8 hours a day with your coworker sometimes, whether that's in the office or you're working from home now, you're spending 8 hours a day with these people. So if you're lucky, you find coworkers that you love and that become your kind of inner circle, right? And I was one of those lucky people. So to go from having those people around, having that support system around 24/7, basically is what it felt like, to not having anything and to being kind of on your own and to try to navigate these waters on your own, it could be really tough. So I had to find, and I really had to try to find a community that was filled with like-minded individuals, people who were kind of on a similar journey, not necessarily the same business as me, but who were kind of on this journey of self-development and living their life more on brand and building the business, who were kind of in the trenches at the same time I was, if that makes sense. It is an incredible feeling to have now found that and be able to either call or send a text and say, hey, can I run this idea by you? Can I freak out about something? And somebody who also gets those same feelings of wanting to make a business a reality, or to wanting to make this vision, this bigger vision of mine, a reality. Somebody who gets that and who understands that and who can understand what the inner workings look like and the struggles and the triumphs, and who can really understand that, is honestly game changing. So if you're in the process of building a business and you don't have people surrounding you, you don't have some kind of support system, I really would encourage you to find that for yourself. The ways I found that in the beginning were joining Facebook groups. There's some free groups out there. Like I said, I have one that I'm building now, and that link is below. I'd be more than happy to kind of have you in there. There's a whole bunch of Facebook groups out there of just, there's specific ones for marketing entrepreneurs, there's specific ones for graphic designers, there's specific ones surrounding traveling and working. There's all different ones that are out there, and I've actually met some, both clients but also friends in these groups as well. And it has been an incredible way to make friends from all over the world. I have friends in Canada and British Columbia and North Carolina, everywhere, just from being involved in these groups. Also have made a lot of friends on Instagram, believe it or not, and just people from, again, all over the world. And it's not necessarily a friendship where I am talking to you every day, but it's also nice to just relate to people on, hey, I'm having a tough day. Like, do you mind talking it out? Or, hey, I'm having a tough day. Like, do you ever experience this too? Just having those people who get it, it just acts as its extra support system. And just knowing they're there is a constant just kind of ease to your mind as you continue growing and transitioning to live a more on-brand life and to build your on-brand community and to build your on-brand business. Just kind of ask yourself, like, are you feeling a little bit lonely in your entrepreneur journey right now? Is that something that's coming up for you? Do you feel like you need a community? Do you feel like you need a place to turn to? Do you feel like you have a community, but you'd like to add to that community? I would love to, again, have you inside my Facebook group, but this isn't to plug my Facebook group, even though I am. This is more to just encourage you to take an inventory of your community and see how you can add to that, because having these people surround you and support you and building this system and building this community is only going to add to your success, and it is only going to bring that success sooner. And then in terms of building your own on-branding community for your own business, and maybe building your own Facebook group or building your own kind of band of audience members, that is a matter of showing up consistently inside your social media. That's a matter of believing that you are that person who can kind of be the leader of a community of like-minded individuals. I think I'm actually going to do a separate episode on how to go about building an on-brand community specifically for your business inside social media. But for now, I start thinking about that. Start planting the seeds of, do you want to be a leader inside your community? Do you want to be a participant, or do you want to be an active member, or do you want to be a leader? And there's nothing wrong with one or the other, and maybe you don't pick one or the other. Maybe right now you're a member, and a month from now you're a leader. There's no timeline for these things either. But I just always like to present information to you guys. I just always like to have you take it in, absorb it, and just kind of gain your own perspective on how you can take what I'm saying and apply it into your life in order to live a more on-brand life and to build the on-brand business and community. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love if you would leave a rating and a review. If you screenshot this and share it in your stories, I love seeing what you guys take away from this episode. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.